Breaking news from Africa Timeline. Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud meets with the U.S. State Department on political affairs. Somalia and the World Bank conclude a major workshop on airport development. In New York, President Hassan attends a high-level conference on Palestinian statehood and also participates in the 80th United Nations General Assembly. Prime Minister Hamza meets with CARE International's regional director, while Somali cabinet prepares key cooperation agreements with Qatar. The director of Mogadishu port inspects modernization works, and Somalia signs a diplomatic training deal with Serbia. The First Lady of Somalia strengthens women's empowerment ties with Turkey. Meanwhile, a steering committee on road development opens in Dhusamareeb, and Mogadishu hosts a two-day constitutional retreat. Stay tuned for full details, only on Africa Timeline. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud met with Ms. Alison Hooker, head of political affairs at the U.S. Department of State, along with advisors Mr. Masad Boulos and Mr. Vincent Spera. The discussions focused on strengthening Somalia-U.S. relations, with particular emphasis on security cooperation, counter-terrorism, and regional stability. The federal government of Somalia's Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation, in partnership with the World Bank, concluded a week-long technical workshop in Nairobi focused on advancing airport infrastructure and strengthening civil aviation in Somalia. The closing session was chaired by the Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Honorable Mohammed Farah Nooks, who highlighted the importance of aligning aviation infrastructure with international standards. The workshop, which began on September 15th, addressed key priorities including installation of modern equipment to enable airports across Somalia to operate both day and night, rehabilitation of smaller airstrips to accommodate larger aircraft and improve regional connectivity, strengthening aviation infrastructure to ensure compliance with global civil aviation standards. The ministry expressed confidence that these efforts will significantly contribute to Somalia's economic growth and national connectivity. The World Bank reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Somalia's aviation sector and broader infrastructure development, underscoring the importance of reliable transport systems for the country's progress. In New York, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud attended a high-level international conference on Palestinian statehood. Somalia reaffirmed its historic support for Palestine, backing the UN's New York Declaration on a two-state solution. The president emphasized Somalia's solidarity with the Palestinian people and its commitment to peace in the Middle East. The president also participated in the official opening of the 80th UN General Assembly. His upcoming address is expected to highlight Somalia's fight against terrorism, economic reforms, and preparations for direct elections. The Prime Minister of the Federal Government of Somalia, Chief Hamza Abdi Bare, received in his office the Regional Director for Eastern and Central Africa at CARE International, Mr. Apollo Gabzira. The discussions focused on accelerating projects implemented by CARE International in Somalia and aligning them with the National Transformation Plan, NTP, which outlines the government's priority programs. Prime Minister Bare thanked CARE International for its continued support in the areas of health, education, reconstruction, stabilization, and humanitarian assistance. For his part, Mr. Gabzira reaffirmed CARE International's commitment to expanding its projects in Somalia, ensuring they respond to community needs and align with government priorities. Chairman Deputy Prime Minister Jibril chaired a meeting on upcoming agreements with Qatar. Key sectors include defense, youth and sports, higher education, culture, media, and finance. Officials say the deals will translate directly into services for the Somali people. Ambassador Muhammad Ali Noor, director of Mogadishu Port, inspected expansion works at the country's largest seaport. The modernization project aims to make Mogadishu Port one of Africa's most competitive hubs. Somalia and Serbia signed a new agreement on diplomatic training, further strengthening bilateral ties. Serbia has already been supporting Somali armed forces under a defense cooperation framework. Somalia's First Lady, Kamar Ali Omar, met with Mrs. Filiz Aktas, spouse of the Turkish Ambassador. The talks centered on advancing women and youth empowerment programs in Somalia. The Ministry of Public Works, Reconstruction and Housing of the Federal Government of Somalia, led by Minister Dr. Elmi Mohamed Noor, convened the meeting of the Project Steering Committee, PSC, for the Somalia Road Infrastructure Program in Dhusamareeb today. The meeting was officially opened by Minister Noor, alongside the Vice President of Galmudug State, H.E. Ali Dahir Eid, and brought together PSC members, including the Ministers of Public Works from the federal government and federal member states, as well as project experts and staff. The forum, which is held quarterly, reviewed progress and achievements since the last session, discussed challenges and potential solutions, and outlined upcoming plans. The meeting was noted as particularly significant for advancing Somalia's road infrastructure, with a focus on accelerating major projects that strengthen connectivity, economic growth, and governance across the country. A two-day constitutional retreat opened in Mogadishu, with participation from top parliamentary leaders and review commissions. The retreat seeks to finalize remaining chapters of Somalia's provisional constitution, an important step toward political stability and institutional reform. These are the latest updates from Somalia on diplomacy, development, and governance. Subscribe to Africa Timeline for more breaking news and in-depth analysis from across the Horn of Africa. Thanks for watching.